over 2 million UK residents could soon be fined, banned, or locked out of services, all because of laws they've never even heard of. From being forced to scan your face to prove your identity, to paying extra just to wear cheap clothes. 2025 isn't just a new year, it's a new rulebook. Teenagers are being locked out of social media. Pets now require official licenses and your old car. It might cost you 12.50 satisans every single day just to drive it. Some say it's progress, others say it's overreach. But one thing's for sure, these new UK laws are already turning everyday life upside down. You won't believe which law lands at number 1 and how it might affect you. Number 1. Digital ID, rollout for all citizens. In 2025, the UK government is implementing a nationwide digital ID system for all citizens over the age of 16. This system will act as a unified digital identity, combining your national insurance number, NHS record, driving licence, and passport into one secure online profile. Supporters argue this change will simplify tasks like accessing government services, opening bank accounts, and verifying your identity when applying for jobs. But not everyone is on board. Privacy advocates have raised red flags about data security, fearing that such a system could lead to increased government surveillance. The idea of one centralised profile holding all your most sensitive information is making many people uneasy. Imagine being locked out of healthcare or unable to vote because of a technical glitch or a data breach. That's the kind of risk critics are highlighting. Businesses, on the other hand, may find the transition beneficial. Faster verification processes could streamline hiring and reduce fraud. However, smaller companies may struggle to adapt to the new compliance requirements and digital infrastructure. This law also mandates that citizens must verify their digital ID annually through facial recognition or biometric scans. That means your face and fingerprints will become a regular part of your online verification process. What makes this even more controversial is that opting out isn't really an option. Without a digital ID, accessing public services or even entering some buildings could become impossible. Whether this law is seen as progress or overreach, it's a massive shift in how UK citizens will interact with their government and daily life. This isn't just a new policy, it's a new era of identity in Britain. Number 2. AI-Generated Content Regulation Act. The UK has introduced a sweeping AI-Generated Content Regulation Act that directly targets the rise of deepfakes, synthetic videos, and artificially written content. Under this law, all AI-generated media, whether it's an image, video, or article, must be clearly labelled. The aim is to tackle misinformation, prevent digital fraud, and preserve public trust in online information. This law applies to everything from news outlets using AI to draft stories to influencers posting AI-enhanced photos. Platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok are now legally required to flag AI content with a visible watermark or disclaimer. If a video uses synthetic voices or faces, that too must be disclosed up front. Failing to comply can result in heavy penalties, including content bans or fines up to £500,000. The government cites rising cases of AI-generated hoaxes, including political deepfakes and scam calls, as the reason behind this bold move. Schools and universities are also impacted. Students submitting essays must declare whether AI assistance was used. This regulation doesn't ban AI use, but it demands transparency. Creative industries are especially affected. Music with AI vocals or digitally altered art now falls under this law. Even marketing teams must flag AI-written product reviews or ads. For viewers and users, this means a more honest digital experience. But for content creators, it could slow down production and require new tools to stay compliant. Some worry it may limit creativity, while others say it's essential for digital safety. In a world where seeing is no longer believing, this law is meant to restore a sense of truth. The UK is drawing a hard line between human and machine-made reality, and the future of content may never look the same. Number 3. Ultra-low emission zones, ULES expansion nationwide. The UK government has expanded ultra-low emission zones ULES beyond London, turning them into a nationwide standard across major towns and cities. Starting in 2025, more than 40 urban areas are now classified as ULES, meaning that drivers of older, more polluting vehicles must pay daily charges of £12.50 or more just to enter. This move aims to reduce air pollution, improve public health, and meet the country's net zero emissions targets. Scientific studies have shown that ULES zones in London significantly lowered levels of nitrogen dioxide, a harmful pollutant linked to respiratory diseases and even early death. Now the rest of the country is expected to follow suit. The law affects vehicles that do not meet Euro 6 standards for diesel or Euro 4 standards for petrol. If your car is more than 10 to 15 years old, it's likely you'll be paying these fees. Delivery drivers, tradespeople, and rural residents who rely on older vehicles may face serious financial strain unless they switch to cleaner alternatives. To soften the blow, the government is offering grants and scrappage schemes to help lower-income families and small businesses upgrade to electric or hybrid vehicles. However, charging infrastructure still lags in many areas, leaving some communities unprepared. This law doesn't just target pollution, it reshapes how people think about car ownership. If you live in or near a ULES zone, your daily commute, shopping habits, or even where you work could be affected. The message is clear. Pollution has a price, and the UK is ready to make drivers pay it to protect the environment and public health. Number 4. Social Media Age Verification Law. A new social media age verification law is now in effect across the UK, forcing platforms to implement strict identity checks for users under the age of 18. This means that anyone signing up for a social media account must now verify their age using official documents or facial recognition tools, not just a birthday field that can be faked in seconds. The goal is to protect young people from online harm, including exposure to inappropriate content, cyberbullying, and predatory behaviour. Studies show that prolonged exposure to social media without safeguards contributes to increased levels of anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem, especially among teenagers. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat are now legally responsible for enforcing these checks. Failure to comply can result in fines of up to £1 million per violation, along with potential bans from operating in the UK. For users under 13, account creation is completely prohibited unless it's a platform designed specifically for kids with parental controls built in. Tech companies must also redesign their interfaces for young users, limiting addictive features like infinite scrolling, push notifications, and algorithmic content feeds. Additionally, direct messaging between minors and unknown adults is now automatically restricted. Critics worry that the new system may invade privacy or exclude teens from valuable online communities. But supporters believe this is a crucial step in making the internet a safer space for children. Parents are urged to become more involved in their kids' digital lives, using this law as a tool for deeper media awareness. For families, schools, and tech platforms alike, this is more than a technical update. It's a complete shift in how young people are allowed to engage with the digital world. Number 5. 4-day workweek pilot program becomes law. In a groundbreaking shift, the UK has passed legislation requiring certain industries to adopt a 4-day workweek, reducing the standard full-time schedule to 32 hours without a pay cut. This move follows the success of several pilot programs across the country, which showed that shorter work weeks led to higher productivity, better employee well-being, and lower staff turnover. The law initially applies to sectors like marketing, IT, education, and public administration, with more industries expected to follow in the coming years. Companies under this law must ensure that workers still receive full pay and benefits while adapting their operations to maintain efficiency. Supporters argue that the 4-day week is the future of work. Research shows that when employees have more rest and personal time, they experience fewer health issues, show greater focus and are more engaged. In trials, businesses reported a 33% drop in sick days and measurable improvements in team morale and innovation. Employees are encouraged to use the extra day for rest, family time, hobbies, or skill building. Some companies are even offering optional training programs on the fifth day to help workers expand their professional development. However, not everyone is convinced. Critics claim it could increase pressure on workers to fit 5 days of tasks into 4, especially in fast-paced or customer-facing roles. Businesses also face challenges adapting without harming their bottom line. Whether it's a step toward a healthier work-life balance or an experiment with uncertain results, one thing is clear. The way the UK works is changing. This law marks a new era where time, not just money, is becoming an essential focus of the modern workplace. Number 6. Ban on disposable vapes. In 2025, the UK has officially enacted a nationwide ban on disposable vapes, targeting all single-use e-cigarettes commonly sold in convenience stores and petrol stations. This bold move follows growing concerns over both youth vaping epidemics and environmental waste, with millions of devices being tossed away each week. Health experts have long warned about the sharp rise in underage vaping. Research shows that disposable vapes, often sold in bright packaging with sweet flavours like bubblegum and mango, were deliberately designed to appeal to teenagers. The UK's health authorities reported a 3-fold increase in underage usage in just 2 years, prompting urgent legislative action. But it's not just about health. These devices contain lithium batteries, plastic casings, and toxic chemicals, making them nearly impossible to recycle. Most end up in landfills or waterways, posing a serious threat to wildlife and ecosystems. Under the new law, manufacturers, importers, and retailers are prohibited from selling or distributing disposable e-cigarettes. Violations can lead to fines of up to £100,000 and seizure of inventory. Reusable vape systems are still legal, but must meet stricter safety and age verification standards. Retailers have already begun pulling stock, and schools are seeing this as a win in their ongoing battle to keep vapes out of classrooms. Meanwhile, environmental groups are applauding the decision as a step toward a cleaner, safer future. For users, this means making the switch to refillable or nicotine-free options, or quitting altogether. This ban isn't just a crackdown, it's a statement that public health and the planet take precedence over convenience and profit. The era of flashy, throwaway vaping devices in the UK has come to an abrupt end. Number 7. Mandatory AI literacy in schools. In a major leap toward future-proofing education, the UK has introduced a law requiring mandatory AI literacy in all primary and secondary schools. Starting in 2025, students as young as 8 will begin learning about artificial intelligence, machine learning, and digital ethics as part of their core curriculum. This initiative comes as AI becomes increasingly integrated into daily life, from virtual assistants to hiring algorithms. The government argues that understanding AI is no longer optional. It's a form of basic literacy for the modern world. Lessons will cover how AI works, its benefits, its risks, and the importance of ethical use in everything from facial recognition to social media feeds. Teachers are being trained to deliver this content using interactive simulations, case studies, and real-world examples. Students will explore questions like, how does an algorithm decide what I see online? Can machines be biased? What is data privacy? Older students will even get hands-on experience with basic coding tools, AI models, and ethical debates on emerging technologies like deepfakes and autonomous vehicles. The curriculum emphasizes critical thinking, encouraging students to question not just how AI functions, but how it affects jobs, politics, and society. Supporters say this is a vital move to prepare the next generation for an AI-dominated future. Without these skills, students could be left behind in a rapidly evolving market. Critics argue the implementation may be rushed, with schools lacking resources or properly trained staff. Still, This law marks a turning point in education. AI is no longer a futuristic concept, it's part of the classroom. And with this bold step, the UK is betting on knowledge and awareness as the best defence against digital inequality and misinformation. Number 8. Fast Fashion Sustainability Tax. In 2025, the UK introduced a fast fashion sustainability tax, targeting clothing brands that contribute heavily to environmental pollution and labour exploitation. Under this new law, companies are taxed based on their carbon footprint, waste output, and the sustainability of their supply chains. Fast fashion brands that release dozens of collections each year using cheap, non-recyclable materials are now required to pay an additional levy per garment sold. The goal is to hold these companies accountable for the environmental damage caused by mass production and encourage the shift to eco-friendly alternatives. This law is a response to staggering statistics. The UK throws away over 300,000 tonnes of clothing annually, much of it made from plastics like polyester. These clothes often end up in landfills or are burned, contributing to climate change and toxic pollution. Funds raised from the tax will support green innovation, local textile recycling programs, and education campaigns on sustainable consumer habits. Brands that prove they use recycled fabrics, ensure fair wages, and minimize waste can qualify for tax reductions. Consumers may see slightly higher prices, but the law is designed to nudge buyers toward quality over quantity. Thrift stores, clothing rentals, and slow fashion brands are expected to thrive under the new system. Fashion influencers and retailers now face a new challenge: promoting clothes that meet ethical standards. Social media platforms are also encouraged to highlight sustainable fashion trends. This isn't just a tax, it's a cultural shift. The UK is telling consumers and corporations alike, cheap fashion comes at a high cost. The era of disposable clothing is being replaced by one of responsibility, transparency, and long-term value. Number 9. Right to disconnect law. In a landmark move for worker well-being, the UK has passed a right to disconnect law, giving employees the legal right to ignore work-related communications outside their contracted hours. Emails, messages, and calls from bosses after 6 p.m? No longer your problem, unless your contract says otherwise. Inspired by similar laws in France, Ireland, and Belgium, this legislation aims to tackle the growing issue of burnout, stress, and digital overwork. Studies show that constant connectivity has blurred the lines between work and personal life, leading to increased mental health issues and reduced productivity over time. Under this new rule, companies with more than 25 employees must establish clear policies outlining when staff are expected to be available and when they are not. Employers who pressure staff to respond outside these hours can face fines of up to £50,000 or more, depending on the severity of the breach. This law is especially significant in remote and hybrid work setups, where boundaries have almost disappeared. Zoom fatigue, midnight Slack messages, and weekend deadlines are now officially challenged by law. Workers in high-demand industries like tech, finance, and healthcare are welcoming the shift, while some employers are scrambling to redesign workflows. Many HR departments are introducing protected time protocols, and teams are being trained to respect work-life balance. There are exceptions, of course. Emergency roles and 24/7 operations must include opt-out clauses, but even these must be transparent and agreed upon in writing. This law changes more than just office culture. It redefines respect for personal time. By giving people the right to truly switch off, the UK is making a bold statement. Mental health matters, and rest isn't a luxury, it's a right. Number 10. Pet ownership licensing overhaul. In 2025, the UK introduced a sweeping pet ownership licensing overhaul, making it mandatory for all new dog and cat owners to complete a certified training course before bringing an animal home. This law aims to reduce cases of animal neglect, abandonment, and irresponsible breeding by ensuring every pet owner understands basic care, behaviour, and legal responsibilities. The new licensing system requires applicants to attend a short online or in-person program covering nutrition, exercise needs, training techniques, and veterinary care. Once completed, owners receive a license valid for 5 years. Without it, purchasing or adopting a pet is now illegal, and penalties for violations can reach £10,000 or more. Shelters and breeders must verify this license before handing over any animal. They're also obligated to report unlicensed transactions, helping create a national database of responsible pet owners. The law is backed by animal welfare groups, who have long pushed for stronger protections against cruelty and abandonment. Repeat offenders, or those convicted of abuse, face a lifetime ban from owning animals. Breeders are also under tighter scrutiny, with surprise inspections and stricter standards for living conditions and health certifications. Critics argue the law might slow down adoptions or create financial barriers, especially for low-income families. However, government grants and subsidies are available for those who qualify, ensuring the law doesn't prevent loving homes from welcoming pets. This reform redefines what it means to own an animal in the UK. It's no longer just a personal choice, it's a regulated responsibility. With this law, Britain sends a clear message. If you want the joy of a pet, you must also commit to its well-being, safety, and lifelong care. Whether you see them as bold steps forward or signs of tightening control, these new UK laws in 2025 are changing the way we live, work, travel, shop, and even own pets. They touch nearly every part of daily life, and some of them are already active, whether you're prepared or not. From AI regulation to the 4-day workweek, and from social media crackdowns to green taxes on fashion, these changes aren't just headlines, they're personal. Some laws may protect your health, others may limit your freedom, but every single one carries real consequences. The question is, which of these laws do you think goes too far? Or maybe, not far enough? We'd love to hear from you. Which of these laws surprised you the most? Which one do you think will actually help the UK? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We actually read them and feature the most interesting takes in future videos. And hey, don't stop here. If you found this video eye-opening, make sure to check out our last upload, where we covered an everyday things that will be illegal in the UK. It's the perfect follow-up to this one. We put a lot of time and effort into researching and crafting these videos to keep you informed in a way that's both smart and simple. If you appreciate that, then please support us. Subscribe to our channel. It only takes one click, but it means the world to us.